Hey everybody, hope you're enjoying your last few days of summer before kids go back to school and the fall sits in. So for today, I just want to share this my thought has been on my mind this last week, and as we know, with the states having their election coming in November, and just the different news articles about our prime minister or premier in Canada, and just what we should be doing as Christians in these times about our authorities. And I just want to share a few verses with you guys today. Let's start off with Romans 13, starting in verse 1. Every person is to be in subjection to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except from God, and those which exist are established by God. Therefore, whoever resists authority has opposed the ordinance of God, and they who have opposed will receive condemnation upon themselves. So we see here that God has brought in those leaders, good or bad. Through time, the kings, and now we have presidents or prime ministers or premiers. God is in control, and He's allowed them to come on. Even if we have voted for somebody else, God chooses for His own glory. And for us as Christians, reading these verses, I'm going to read 1 Peter 2, 13 and 14 here. It goes, submit yourselves for the Lord's sake to every human institution, whether to a king as the one in authority, or to governors as sent by him for the punishment of evildoers and the praise of those who do right. So we see in these verses, it's very clear, God's in control. And for us to, if you read on there in 1 Peter 2, they're going to see us, if we behave and we do what's right, people will see there's a difference in us, which I would say, not posting things, against our leaders, not, joining groups that hate them or slander them or gossip about them. I think for us, we vote, and, whoever becomes the leader, we know who God allowed to be in power, and we have to be okay with that. Even if somebody that's hates us as Christians and maybe makes our pensions or our jobs miserable, God's in control, He's sovereign, and we have to give that authority over to God. And by treating those people with respect and loving them and praying for them. And so I think very easily in the next, I think it's I don't know when our next elections are in Canada, but even there's a lot of opinions people have about Trump in the States, but God put him there, like him or not. But for us to, it's not our country, first of all, and for us not to slander him or gossip about him, but us to pray for him, to pray for that country, and for us in Canada, getting that mindset that God is in control over everything, and leave it to God. Let Him worry about it. And even if it's we have a government now that even takes away the say of charitable donations. Oh well, right? There's we still show respect to that government. We still don't slander them. We don't get up in arms and protest and look like the world, right? By our testimony, how we act, how we love, is how people are going to see us. And especially today, we really need to show the world how different we are, and that's by not hating those that we don't like, not jumping on the bandwagon of other groups that slander or make fun of these people. And that's when I read from Daniel 2. This is when early on Daniel, King Nebuchadnezzar had that dream, and he's testing his wizards, his wise men that he has in his court. And when he said to them, I had a dream, I want you to interpret it, but I'm not going to tell you about the dream. I don't trust you really. I want you to tell me what dream I had, and I want you to interpret it from there. And we see he goes through there that they say that's impossible, they can't do it, and they the gods are not here, right? So they admit that their gods are not here. But we go down to Daniel, and I just want to read you what he did when he was told the information. And so Daniel 2 verse 17. Then Daniel went to his house and informed his friends, Hananiah, Mishael, Azariah, about the matter, so that they might request compassion from the God of heaven concerning this mystery. So for us, in these times that we have today, it's going to get tougher. It's getting harder. And the first thing we need to be doing is going to our friends and praying. I can't express that enough. We got to be doing that. When we have things, and there's going to be things that come up. I talk to young adults about this. People are going to be coming to us with different things. We have different, science things are happening. We have different social things today that we may not, see exactly the same thing in Scripture, and we may need time to go pray about it and to read and look it up and search for the right answer. And so, there's going to be times where we won't have an answer when people challenge us or question us. And I think for us, before we open our mouths to say something, and Russ has always told me this from day one, 90% of ministry is not saying the first thing that comes to your head. And I think for us Christians, we all got to do that. Don't just say the first thing that comes to your head. Let's take the time. Let's go to some other Christians and pray together and listen to the Spirit. Let God lead us. We're doing weekly prayer meetings at the church now. I really encourage everyone to really make that a priority if you can. I know it doesn't work, but if you're home and you're just watching TV or just whatever, this is something we're called to do throughout Scripture. And so I really encourage you guys to come out, pray with the congregation. It's a great time, and not just prayer together, but also hearing people, their hearts, hearing what's going on in their lives, hearing about different ministries in the church. And it's really a night of coming together, bonding with worshiping God, and through prayer. And that's going to strengthen us, and that's going to, for us as a church, we really need to start praying on our knees more and more about everything. And so, especially for this, our leaders and that, let's look different in the world. Let's not hate them. Let's not slander them. Let's not join groups online, post things online that tear them down. Let's love them. And first of all, let's get on our knees and pray for them. And God is in control, so let's let God do His will. Let's not push against Him. Let's be obedient to God, but also love thy neighbor. And so that's how the world is going to see us. And I think that's what we really need to do, is really love everyone the way that God has asked us to love them. And when we do that, we're going to stand out, and people are going to see a difference in us. And for us, we're going to have the peace in our hearts when we do this. We're going to have the trust in God, and whatever happens. There's been many bad leaders that have persecuted Christians. God's allowed that, and we just have to trust God and go day by day for Him. Okay, that's all. That's my 2 cents. So hope everybody has a good night, good day. I'm doing it at night because I'll forget if I don't do this now. But hope everybody has a good Thursday, and we'll see you next week. Bye.